For the fourth time this year, Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner are playing in a tournament final. With these two being by far the best two players in the world, this matchup almost feels inevitable when we go into every tournament that they are both in the draw. But I am not complaining. When these two step on the tennis court, we know they're going to put on an entertaining show for us. And today in Cincinnati, we have what might be a preview for the US Open final in today's final at 3 o'clock. At this rate, with how close each of their matches have been this year, most people would expect this line to be a pick'em, but Sinner is actually a pretty solid favorite coming into this matchup at minus 190. The game spread is set at 2.5 and the total at 23.5 games. And honestly, with how close this matchup has been, it's probably a good idea to just take the underdog every time. But I'm actually going to go with the over 23.5 games here. I think this line is a little suspicious with how big of a favorite Sinner is. I thought the line was going to be more set to 22.5 games. And on these quicker hard courts, I expect both these guys to hold at a high rate. I think we're going to see at least a tiebreaker, hopefully two. But I think we're in for a long match here, and I would not be surprised if this goes 3 sets. But for who I think is going to win this match, most people are probably going to say Will's going to pick Sinner. He's a Jannik guy. But actually, in these hot conditions, I'm going to favor Carlitos a little bit. Even though most people will say on a quick hard court that surface would favor Sinner, I think these hot conditions in Cincinnati are going to favor Carlos's endurance and physicality, especially if we've seen a long drawn out match like I'm predicting here by taking the over. With the US Open around the corner, I don't think Jannik is going to want to invest too much physically here to win a long final. Sure, he's not going to roll over once it gets into the second and third hour, but I don't think he's going to push his body to the absolutely extreme like Carlos can to take this final here. I trust Carlos a little bit more to survive in this heat. I trust his footwork later on, especially if both players get drained. We've seen plenty of times Carlos's legs never die. And with how Carlos has looked this tournament, he's serving big and playing great tennis here on the hard court, so I think he's going to be a real threat to lift this trophy today. I think we're in for a great tennis match today, so I'm taking the over 23.5 games and hoping for a good match, as always, between these two.